Dear friends, good day. Today is Tuesday, the fourth day of Elul. We're in the second day of the week period between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And we said that we will dissect the word Teshuvah, which is the theme of this week and the entire 10 days from Rosh Hashanah through Yom Kippur. Repentance, and we explained yesterday, return. We'll dissect the first letter of Teshuvah as taught by Rabbi Zusia Anipoli and brought down in Hayom Yom, the Rebbe's thought of the day. And Taf of Teshuvah stands for Tamim. Temimut comes from the word wholesome, to be wholesome. So we're told, be wholesome with God. What does it mean, be wholesome with God? So to understand really what it's telling us, is something very profound. And that is two specific ideas that we have to think about. Number one, wholesome is very much similar to the idea of be innocent. Innocent means that there is no dichotomy. When we believe in God fully, when our faith is strong in God, it's not compartmentalized, that it's only there at one point or in some part of our life or in some areas of our life, but it's complete. When we walk innocently, a child is innocent, every part of them is part of that innocent whole being. As time goes on, we become complex, compartmentalized, and we become different types of people based on different events, different times, different things that are going on. And the Torah tells us, be wholesome, be one. And not only be one, be innocent, but remember, whatever you do completely. Even if we don't do a lot, but whatever you do for God, whatever you do as a Jew, do fully. Don't compromise and turn a Coke to a new Coke, which doesn't equal up. Do it as it is. You know, I marry people, I do other things, and they always say, let's change the tradition of the chuppah a little bit. Let's make it a little. And I tell them, why are you playing with something that is so sacred? Because by changing it a little bit, you change the entire thing. It's just not the same. It's like putting in a different ingredient in a food, which is not similar. It's just the whole food tastes different. Be wholesome. Whatever you do completely. I want to share a story. There was a rabbi, a Reformed rabbi, Rabbi Herbert Wiener. And this rabbi was fascinated with the Rebbe. He was looking for, and he wrote a book called 9.5 Mystics. He was looking for a deeper meaning in life, more spirituality. And he came upon the Rebbe in the early days of Chabad in America in the 1950s. And he started to come to the Fabrengens, and he had a tremendous rapport with the Rebbe. And the Rebbe set up that he could study with some of the yeshiva boys, the Hasidic philosophy, to understand some of the spiritual components. And what was fascinating was that in one of his conversations with the Rebbe, and he thanked him so much for allowing him to really get into discussions with young ideological teenagers, and he was so impressed by how deep they thought and how they thought about real things as opposed to most youth their age in America. But then he said there's one thing, and he said there's something in their eyes. He looks at their eyes always and he sees something that's so powerful. He can't explain what's in their eyes. Why do their eyes have a twinkle? What is going on in their eyes that's so different than everyone else he looks at, especially youth, but even older people? And the Rebbe told him something very powerful. And he said, the eyes talk to us. The eyes tells everyone who the person is. You know, it's fascinating today that everyone's wearing masks. You only see the eyes. If you pay attention to people's eyes, which mostly we don't, but now you have no choice, it's very powerful. To look in someone's eye, you can see their depth. You see if they have depth. You pick up so much more than just read my lips, which is a tool of a person that's so easy to mask everything behind it. But the eyes tell the real story. And he said that the eyes tell the story. Most people live in conflict and very complex type of a life, where we're pulled in two directions. One direction we're pulled in is that we are interested in having a good time and enjoying life and materialism and the physical attraction to many things. On the other hand, I'm very selfish. What's good for me? What will I get out of it? On the other hand, we have a part of us that seeks for something deeper, meaning, purpose, a more spiritual feeling, something that takes us to a higher self, and we're pulled in different directions. And for most people, this battle is constantly going on, and they're pulled in two worlds. They're pulled from one side to the other. Sometimes we call it the heart says, the mind says, and it's like a tug of war. And the battle is very strong, and there are two forces that we don't even know which one is right or wrong. And this creates a fissure, a break within the person that you look in the eye. Most eyes are broken. It shows a broken person that's broken in half between two forces that sometimes one gets the better of the other. He says, but Torah teaches us that in reality, though we have these two forces within us, and they are real, there is no question that the truth lies in the power of the soul, in the spiritual, in the selfless. This is where the true identity of a person is. We have another force within us that's trying to pull. And even if someone is orthodox, religious, observant, they still battle like everyone else. The challenges are there in the same way. But there's no question at any time that there are two real forces. We all know what the truth is. And we're just challenged to make sure we stay with the truth and don't get pulled in the other direction, as opposed to not being sure what's really correct and what I should really run after. And that's what the Rebbe said. In these young boys' eyes, there is no fissure, there's no break in their eye. It twinkles because there's a wholesomeness. There's a certain innocence that they know that the world is good and this is God's world. And the only challenge is that we have to try to live up to it, not questioning if it's so. And that's what tshuva is, the recognition that though we sin, we have never really been removed from God. We are one with God. But let's feel it in our conscious state, that we are one with God. Let's feel that God is really part of us. And when you do that, that's your first step of doing teshuvah, of returning to your inner self, returning to God. So may God bless you all. Have a great day.